It's late. The terminal lights feel too bright, like they're exposing every thought in your head. You've been in the air for hours. Your neck is stiff, your mouth is dry. You follow the crowd down a long hallway. Signs overhead, arrows pointing forward. Immigration, passport control. And suddenly, the line slows down. You're holding your passport. Your fingers are a little sweaty. You can hear your suitcase wheels clicking behind you. You're watching people step up to the booth, one by one, and you start doing that thing. You rehearse answers in your head. What's my hotel address again? What day do I fly back? What if they ask something I didn't expect? What if I sound nervous? Then you're up next. The officer looks at you, expression neutral, eyes trained to notice everything. They take your passport, they glance at the screen, they glance at you again, and for a second, your brain goes completely blank. If you've ever felt that moment, whether it's your first international trip or you've traveled a dozen times but immigration still makes your heart race, this video is for you. Because here's the truth most people don't hear enough. Immigration officers usually aren't trying to trap you. They're doing one job. Make sure your story makes sense, your intent matches your entry rules, and you're likely to leave when you're supposed to. And the weird part is, a lot of the time, they care more about how you answer than the exact words you use. So today, I'm going to walk you through the 10 most common immigration questions you'll hear at major international airports, what each question really means, and exactly how to answer in a way that's short, confident, and smooth without accidentally creating extra problems. This isn't about sounding perfect. It's about sounding truthful, prepared, and consistent. All right, let's make immigration simple. Before the questions, I want you to lock in a few rules. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember these. Rule number 1, short, clear, confident. You are not there to tell your entire life story. You are there to answer a question. Rule number 2, less talk, less problem. Over-explaining is how people accidentally raise red flags, not because they're doing something wrong, but because extra details create extra questions. Rule number 3, consistency is everything. What you say needs to match your documents, your itinerary, and what's in the system. Rule number 4, calm body language is part of your answer. Normal eye contact, natural voice, no whispering, no nervous comedy. Don't act guilty, don't act defensive, just act like a person who belongs there, because you do. And rule number 5, have the essentials ready, not buried somewhere in your bag like a treasure hunt. Keep these within reach. Your passport, obviously, your return or onward ticket, the address of where you're staying, hotel or a friend's place, and if you have it, your travel insurance and proof of funds, usually not asked, but good to have. Now, let's get into the questions. Question number 1 is the most common opener. What's the purpose of your trip? This sounds simple, but here's what they're really asking. Does your intent match what you're allowed to do here? So the best way to answer is say the category first, then one short detail. Like, tourism, I'm here for 8 days to visit New York and see the main attractions. Or business, I'm attending a 3-day conference in Chicago. Or visiting family, I'm staying with my aunt for a week. Notice what's not happening. No long stories, no emotional speeches, no, well, actually paragraphs. Avoid vague answers like, just hanging out, or I'm not sure, we'll see. Vague sounds unplanned. Unplanned sounds risky, even if your trip is totally innocent. Keep it clean. Purpose, then a simple sentence. Question number 2, how long are you staying? They're checking if the length of stay makes sense. If you say 3 months, but you look like you have a full-time job back home and no explanation, they're going to wonder what's going on. Best answers sound like this: 10 days, or from January 12th to January 22nd. If you're a little unsure, don't panic, but avoid, depends, or I don't know. If you genuinely have an itinerary, refer to it confidently. My return flight is on the 22nd. Short, clear, done. Question number 3, where are you staying? They're checking if you have a real plan and a traceable address. Good answers: at the Hilton Midtown in Manhattan, or with my cousin in Queens, here's the address. The address doesn't need to be a dramatic moment. Keep it in your Notes app, screenshot your booking, keep it offline. What you want to avoid is, "I'll figure it out when I get there." Even if you truly will, this can trigger extra screening in many countries. Question number 4, who are you traveling with? They're checking for consistency and basic safety. Good answers: I'm traveling solo, or with my husband, or with my friends. There are 3 of us. If you're meeting someone there, keep it simple. I'm meeting friends here, but I'm arriving first. You don't need to explain your entire relationship history. Just answer the question.
Question number 5. Have you been here before? This is about travel patterns and compliance. Good answers: yes, once in 2019 for a week. Or no, this is my first time. If you've been multiple times, you can keep it simple. Yes, a couple times for tourism. And here's a big one: don't lie about past travel. They can often see your entry records. A lie turns a normal situation into a complicated one. Question number 6. What do you do for work? This question feels personal, but it's very practical. They're checking your ties back home and whether your travel makes financial sense. Good answers are short. I am a software engineer at a logistics company. I am a nurse. I am a student, university. Job title plus industry is enough. Avoid turning this into a full interview. Also, be careful with wording that suggests you'll be working while you're visiting if you're not allowed to. For example, saying, "I'm going to do some freelance work while I'm here," can create complications in certain countries depending on entry rules. The safe approach is be honest, but keep it simple and aligned with your actual plan. Question number 7. How much money are you carrying? Or can you support yourself during your stay? They're checking you won't become financially stranded. Good answers: I have about $800 in cash and I have credit cards. Or my accommodation is prepaid and I have savings for this trip. If you have a card, say you have a card. You don't need to flex money. You just need to sound stable. What you want to avoid is, "I have basically nothing. I'll figure it out." That's how you get more questions. Question number 8. Do you have a return ticket? Or when are you leaving? This is one of the biggest indicators for them. Do you have a clear plan to exit? Best answer: yes, my return flight is on the 22nd. If you're flying onward to another country, yes, I'm flying onward to Canada on the 18th. This is a moment where having your booking ready helps, not because you need to prove anything dramatically, but because it shows preparation. Question number 9. What's in your luggage? Or are you bringing anything to declare? They're looking for prohibited items, commercial goods, restricted food, and large amounts of cash. Good answers: just personal clothing and a laptop. Or personal items and some packaged snacks, nothing fresh. Do not joke here. No, haha, I'm smuggling something. No sarcasm. Immigration and customs are not the place for comedy. If you're unsure about an item, the safer move is declare it or ask. Declaring is usually less risky than hiding. Question number 10. This one might not always be asked directly, but it's behind almost every question. When are you going back? Or what ties do you have to your home country? What they're really asking is, are you likely to overstay? The best answers are short and specific. I'm going back on the 22nd because I have work on Monday. Or I return to continue my semester. Classes start next week. Or I have a lease and my job back home. You don't need to list your entire life. 1 strong tie is enough. 2 is great. What you want to avoid is, I don't know, maybe I'll stay if I like it. That sounds like unclear intent, and unclear intent triggers extra checks. Now, let's put all of this into a quick role play, because seeing it in action makes everything click. Imagine the officer asks, Purpose of visit. Bad version, rambling. Yeah, so I'm here because I've always wanted to see America, and I might visit my friend, and also I'm thinking of maybe checking out opportunities, but not really, and that answer creates multiple follow-up questions. Opportunities for what? Work? How long? Where are you staying? Do you have money? Who are you meeting? Good version, clean. Tourism. I'm here for 8 days, staying in Manhattan, and my return flight is on the 22nd. Same person, same trip, but the second version sounds prepared and consistent. And that's the secret. Not perfection, not sounding like a robot, just sounding like someone who knows why they're there and what they're doing. All right, before we end, here's a simple checklist you can run through as you land. Purpose of trip, 1 sentence. Length of stay, number of days or exact dates. Where you're staying, hotel name or address ready. Return or onward ticket, accessible. And your mindset, calm, honest, brief. One more thing that helps more than people realize, right before you step up to the booth, take one slow breath. Relax your shoulders, and remember, your goal is not to perform. Your goal is to communicate clearly. Immigration is a conversation with a purpose. You're not there to win anything, you're there to make your intent understandable. If you want, drop a comment with the country you're flying into and the purpose of your trip. Tourism, business, visiting family, and I'll suggest a clean 1-sentence answer you can practice. And if this video helped reduce your stress even a little, consider subscribing, because travel gets a lot more fun when you're not anxious before it even begins. Safe travels, and you've got this.